Have you ever wondered if the money we use is truly ours? Or if, in some way, we're being controlled by a system we don't fully understand? And what about Bitcoin? Is it the ultimate financial freedom we've all been searching for? Or just a new version of the old game of power? Introduction. Money has a curious history. Over the centuries, we've transitioned from bartering goods to using physical coins, and now we're living in an era of digital money. But has anything truly changed? Bitcoin, for example, emerged with the promise of decentralization and financial freedom. But to what extent does it fulfill that promise? What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency, one that operates without a central bank or government controlling it. It was created as an alternative to the traditional financial system, and in theory, it offers us complete control over our money. But is it really that simple? The great promise of Bitcoin lies in its decentralization. There is no central authority, no bank printing more money. It gives the illusion that we are in control of our own financial future. But are we truly free? The reality is, despite Bitcoin's decentralization, much of the cryptocurrency market is still controlled by a small group of large investors and miners who hold the vast majority of the coins. Why do people buy Bitcoin? Many people view Bitcoin as an investment, hoping to make a quick profit. Others see it as a refuge from traditional currencies, which are constantly devalued by government policies and inflation. In a world where the global economy is in a perpetual state of uncertainty, Bitcoin seems like an alternative. But is it really the solution, or is it just a new bubble waiting to burst? The promise of financial freedom. The promise of financial freedom is one of Bitcoin's most alluring qualities. Without banks or governments intervening, you have complete control over your money. But is this freedom real? Or are we just exchanging one type of control for another? Bitcoin is often touted as a decentralized form of currency that allows individuals to manage their own finances without the need for a third-party intermediary. But even within the world of cryptocurrency, we see the emergence of power structures that mirror traditional systems. The largest Bitcoin holders, often referred to as whales, have the ability to manipulate the market and control the price, effectively undermining the very notion of decentralization. In addition, Bitcoin's high volatility makes it more of an asset for speculation, rather than a stable means of exchange. A currency that fluctuates by thousands of dollars in a single day cannot be considered a reliable store of value. And while Bitcoin's blockchain technology provides transparency, it does not necessarily guarantee fairness or equity. The role of blockchain technology. At the heart of Bitcoin is blockchain technology, a decentralized ledger that records all transactions. The idea is that by removing a central authority, Bitcoin becomes immune to censorship and fraud. But as the popularity of Bitcoin has grown, so too has the centralization of its infrastructure. The majority of Bitcoin transactions are processed by a few large mining pools, which are responsible for verifying and adding transactions to the blockchain. This raises questions about the true decentralization of Bitcoin and whether it's actually more centralized than it appears. Bitcoin's impact on traditional finance. Bitcoin is often presented as a challenge to traditional banking systems, and in many ways it is. It allows for borderless transactions, enabling people to send and receive money across the world without the need for a bank or government intermediary. This has the potential to revolutionize the way we think about money and financial transactions. However, despite its promise, Bitcoin is not immune to the forces that shape traditional finance. The global financial system is still largely driven by central banks, and even Bitcoin's price movements are influenced by broader macroeconomic factors. The rise of Bitcoin may challenge the traditional banking system, but it does not eliminate the need for financial institutions altogether. In fact, many banks are beginning to incorporate blockchain technology into their operations, signaling that traditional finance is not as threatened by Bitcoin as it may seem. The risks of Bitcoin volatility and speculation. Despite Bitcoin's potential, it remains a highly volatile asset. The price of Bitcoin has been known to fluctuate dramatically, sometimes within hours, which has led to a speculative frenzy among investors. While some have profited greatly from Bitcoin's rise, others have suffered catastrophic losses as the market has crashed. The volatility of Bitcoin makes it an unreliable store of value. Unlike traditional currencies, which are backed by governments and central banks, Bitcoin is not subject to the same level of regulation or oversight. As a result, the price of Bitcoin is largely driven by speculation, making it susceptible to massive price swings that are largely unrelated to its actual value or utility. The rise of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. While Bitcoin's promise of decentralization appeals to many, it is not without its own limitations. Governments and central banks around the world are taking notice of the rise of cryptocurrencies, and some are even developing their own digital currencies. These digital currencies, known as central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are designed to offer the benefits of digital money, while retaining the control that governments have over traditional currencies. CBDCs have the potential to reshape the financial landscape, offering a more stable and regulated form of digital currency. However, the introduction of CBDCs raises concerns about government, surveillance, and control over personal finances. Unlike Bitcoin, which is decentralized, CBDCs would be fully controlled by central authorities, effectively reversing the promise of financial freedom that Bitcoin offers. The promise of financial freedom, a double-edged sword. The promise of financial freedom through Bitcoin is seductive. Without banks or governments controlling your money, you have the opportunity to escape the traditional financial system. But is this freedom genuine, or are we simply exchanging one form of control for another? Bitcoin offers an illusion of freedom, but as the cryptocurrency market matures, we are seeing the rise of new forms of centralization and control within the ecosystem itself. The reality is that financial freedom is not something that can be achieved through technology alone. True freedom requires a shift in the way we think about money, power, and control. Bitcoin may offer a glimpse of what a decentralized financial system could look like, but it does not provide a complete solution to the problems that plague traditional finance. The future of money, decentralization versus centralization. The future of money lies at the intersection of decentralization and centralization. As Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies continue to grow, they will undoubtedly play a significant role in shaping the future of finance. However, they are not a panacea for the problems of the financial system. The rise of CBDCs and the continued centralization of cryptocurrency mining and transactions show that the world of digital money is not as decentralized as we may have hoped. In the end, the true question is not whether Bitcoin will replace traditional money, but how it will coexist with the evolving financial landscape. Will it remain a speculative asset, or will it become a stable, widely accepted form of currency? Only time will tell. Conclusion and final reflection. Ultimately, Bitcoin and other digital currencies represent more than just a new way to make transactions. They are a reflection of how society is grappling with the concept of financial freedom and control. Are we really escaping the grip of traditional finance, or are we simply entering a new form of control that we don't fully understand yet? As the world of digital money continues to evolve, we must ask ourselves, are we truly free, or are we just exchanging one set of shackles for another? The only certainty is that we are at the beginning of a financial revolution, and what lies ahead could change the game forever. What do you think about Bitcoin? Is it the financial freedom we've all been waiting for, or just a new form of control? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with anyone who also needs to think about the future of digital money.